Hello everybody, this is Mithril Zenith, and welcome back to another Archanea map recap. Today we have another Death Gaiden, another bonus map unique to Shadow Dragon. That is Horus's joining map, A Traitor's Worth. So you've noticed I just have it in markup right now. This will just be helpful. I've already made a little square area here, or rectangle. This denotes something I'll get into later, but basically an aggro range. There are some reinforcements on this map, and there are some villages on this map, so before we go in analyzing exactly what's going on, let's talk about those. The villages both just talk about, hey, Horus is a good person, he saved me this, he's respected in that way, whatever. This one gives you a killer lance. This one gives you a blizzard tome. And then reinforcements, we have one group. I'm gonna choose a different color for the reinforcements. We have this fort that starts on turn, it's on turn 8 and turn 10. These two that are turn 10, 12, and 14. This one that's turn 12, 14, and 16. And then this one that's turns 14, 16, and 18. So we have some very mild, but still extant pressure that slowly follows you up the map as you go. And these are pirates, and then this one's a cavalier. So, you know, turns 8, and then 10, and then 12, and then 14. That's not that bad, to be honest, of reinforcement pressure. You can probably clear the map, or at least get close before they even start spawning, and killing the boss will stop the reinforcements. But the boss is not necessarily the most important unit here. That reward goes to Horus right here. He is your recruitable enemy general. How do you recruit him? By not doing anything to him. Yes, so Horus and his squad of 2 armor knights and 2 cavaliers will only attack you if you enter the northern island, if you come towards them. This is flagged in dialogue that he says at the start of, or end of turn 1 or start of turn 1, you know, shall we, one of the soldiers goes, shall we attack? And he says, no, we're going to wait for them to come to us. Then we'll strike. Hinting that, so this confused me a little bit when I'm looking at the details, because the movement trigger claims to be will not move until a unit ends their turn on the upper island. So you would think this whole area would be then the aggression trigger. But apparently it then goes on to say columns 5 to 8, rows 8 through 17, which would imply this blue area. So is it the blue area or is it the purple area? I'm not fully sure. But one of those 2 areas is the aggression range, which means that these units will not attack until you enter the purple region, or possibly just the blue region. That's nice. That means you can go around them. You can even go up through or cross the river or do what you need to, because what you need to do to recruit Horus is kill the boss and end the map, kill the boss, seize the throne, and not kill Horus. That's what you have to do. So, with that out of the way, let's talk about the map. We have reasonable starting position down here. If you have achieved this map and are not hacking, you probably have basically this many units total in your army, because once again, it is a 15 units or less cutoff, I believe. Let me double check this, actually. Can I double check this? Will it give me information that I'm looking for? Yes, 15 or fewer units alive at the end of chapter 12. Okay. So, 15 or less. This is 12 units if you include Marth, so yeah, basically this deployment plus like 3 extra of leeway. So we have, if we go back to my video on map flow, we have the early enemies, we have the middle enemies, And then we have a mini boss over here, which would all be part of the late enemies up here. So early, middle, end. We have a couple of enemies. They are quite weak, especially compared to previous chapters. Once again, similar to the Athena map, you have just a bunch of weak enemies on this map. Very useful for grinding, getting experience and whatnot. Then you have a couple stronger enemies, a couple more diverse. I think this is where you have like the two, I think these two knights have javelins, but aside from that, it's all one range or the mages. And then you have a sniper over here with a silver bow. You have a Manakete with a firestone, and then you have the boss who also just has a steel lance. So once again, pretty weak boss, cheesable to range, nothing to worry about. Something to note is that on Hard 5, unlike the last two maps, while some of the enemies do get upgrades, they change their iron weapons for steel weapons, there are no forged weapons and there are no upgrades to silver weapons. So this sniper is going to be the only silver bow sniper you fight. Aside from that, which a phrase that I use way too often, what's the general map flow of this? Well, initially you would want to kind of just go up and then maybe send a small group this way to get the villages. So this is a little more time consuming of a trek. This is more the linear direction of going across the map. But once you hit the village, if you didn't get the clue before, they're like, hey, please save Horus, you know, save Prince Horace. Not a prince, but save Horus. Don't go here. Don't go on the island. Don't approach him. Don't attack him. Don't kill him. So that's the idea. And then, you know, go over to this village. It reinforces the idea. You fight the mini boss over here. And then you take. Or you could like cut across here. You could do that sort of thing. Or if you just don't care about the bonus, you can also just go right through here. That I think is actually technically the fastest way would be to go like that if you just want to go straight to the end of the map. Also, this is Shadow Dragon, so Marth would need to be the one to go here. So basically the path is Marth goes around, hits the village, comes up, and deals with the boss. If you're walking the whole way and not using any warps. Which is not too much slower than the direct path. It's a couple tiles to the right. Through the forest adds an extra like 2 turns. But yeah, it's like maybe 2 to 3 turns slower than the direct path, which is not bad. And then having it be, hey, you divert a little bit to the side and then you're fine. For a map that is designed to be played by players who are not necessarily the best at the game, if we're assuming that is the intent of the death guidance to begin with, not bad. I like having a little bit of strategy, a little bit of mix-up in there available to you, but not necessarily required, but something that if you're paying attention, if you're reading the plot, it should be pretty obvious, hey, don't attack Horus. Granted, I messed this up in my Iron Man, Hard 5 Iron Man, and just killed Horus because, well, first of all, I was playing full content patch, which is why I got there. I didn't lose all my units. But second of all, I killed Horus because I forgot that you have to beat the map before talking to him, and I didn't want to look anything up at the time. So, my bad on that. Also, I didn't particularly care about Horus. Horus is a decent general. He's not game-destroying by any means, but he has like 17 defense, 32 hit points. He's a quite solid unit, and definitely worth considering. He's kind of... Actually, maybe he's a little bit better. If we were to compare Athena to Navarre, Athena is kind of worse than Navarre, who's already kind of worse than like Ogma. But if we were to compare Horus to like Drog or Roger, first of all, he's pre-promoted, which is actually in his favor, I would say. You don't have to use a Master Seal. He comes with those extra levels then effectively. And what's his defense growth like? Because Shadow Dragon. 35% as a general, that's not terrible. Like, it's still not great, because his personal growth is in like 0 or 5%. But, I mean, it's something. So, reasonable unit. Pretty linear flow, all things considered. You could argue that it's split flow, but there's so little to do here, and it pushes you towards this direction anyway. You're probably just doing a linear flow. It's a little bit awkward to push all your units through this really thin pass by the river, but if you were to, say, not have most of these unit slots because, I don't know, you're bad at the game and, you know, that's why you're getting a Death Gaiden, maybe not that many. If you were to, say, have, like, 6 units, then that feels better. Feels more like, okay, take 6 units, go around the right side, don't fight too many enemies. The enemies you fight aren't particularly strong outside of, you know, again, the Mannequin and the Sniper. Gives you enough turns that, okay, you might start getting the pirate reinforcements, which will kind of kick you into gear to get a move on. If you're taking the time to get everything, then you might start seeing these pirates as well. But you're probably going to finish before this point unless you're doing something really stupid or trying to full clear the map or like trying to like lure Horus and get him to chase you or something like that. So it's encouraging you to just play the objective, and I appreciate how that use of reinforcements to just reinforce, you know, pun intended, reinforce the main objective, which is get to the dang boss. So all in all, pretty good map, I would say. Definitely better than the Athena map, and better than some of the other Archanea maps as well. Not particularly interesting, I would say. It's not, you know, super fun or interesting or well thought out, but it's not fun. Fun is not the thing it's not. Because I think this map could be fun. It's definitely enjoyable. I don't hate it at all. If I were to improve the map, what would I do? Honestly, maybe this path is just a little bit too thin to bring all your units down this way. But that's really it. Map-wise, I think it's great. I think it's perfectly fine. But let me know what your thoughts are on this map in the comments down below. Next time, we will be talking about the wonderful map known as the Wooden Cavalry, everyone's favorite monotype unit map. So, you know, come in and join in for that. But until next time, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to the Laguz Guard members, YouTube channel members, who have joined and helped support. We have Royal Laguz Guard members, The Forgotten L and Minirop, and Laguz Guard members C2 Pikali, Enigmatic Mr. L, Mad Moke, Bro Duderman, Kumi, Miss Mesmerism, Drumstep 913, Relaz 6, and Merlinin. Thank you again so much for watching, and until next time, this is Mithril Zenith signing out.